All right, good to go?
Ready.
Okay. Hello, viewers. Welcome to our Facebook Live session for how to navigate Google Classroom for students and for parents. My name is Jennifer Kidwell. I am a teacher in the junior high, 7th and 8th grade world languages, and in the high school, French, gifted, and ACT prep. And I am excited to show you how to use Google Classroom at home. So first up, I have a couple of ways to show you how to get to Google Classroom. So first of all, in the main Google screen, after you've logged in, you can go over to the little grid. It's the 9 dots that make up a little grid, and you click on Google Apps and just look for Classroom. And if it's not in your little grid, or on Chromebooks, it appears down at the bottom. If it's not there, you can look for more apps. Sometimes you scroll down and you can look for more apps there. But this is one way that you can get to Classroom. You can also type in classroom.google.com and you can get to Classroom that way. But the way I'm going to show you for your students today is that I have sent an invitation to just a random sample student who's going to be joining our class. So when you go to Classroom and you're logged in on your Google account, the invitation will be there, and you know that it's there. You see the classroom. This is my face. This is what I look like. And this is just a fake classroom that I made up for my world languages class. Every classroom has a code that you would join in the classroom with. And this one was sent by invitation. You can see it says join or decline. So we're going to click join, and we're going to get our sample student into the classroom. So I have created a few assignments for you to look at and show you what it looks like. Okay, so let's kind of look at what we see here as a student. So over here on the left, they have the 3 bars. This is how you would navigate between your classes. So if you're signed up for several Google Classrooms, which many of our students will be, they can navigate over here for their classes. We also have a calendar that can come up, and it will show whenever there are deadlines that are assigned by teachers. They can see what they've got coming up. We also have a to-do list, which is very important. So you can go to this to-do list and you can look at the things that'll be coming up. Also, whenever you have work that is upcoming, you can see it over here on this left-hand toolbar box. And these are some of the things that'll be coming up. Since I teach world languages, I chose to put a few things for Latin in here. It's one of the languages we learn in the world languages class. And I put a welcome message. What you'll see here is called the stream. You see these 3 boxes up at the top. This is the stream. It's kind of like a running blog post selection, or almost like social media. So our families, our kids and parents, teachers, we're all used to seeing those kinds of things. And so it's set up in a format that we can really associate with. So what we see here is the stream. It shows when I've posted these things. Put up a few things today while I was in the classroom. And we'll click on each of these and look at them, but I also want to show you where else you find them. If you click on classwork, you see all the assignments that I put up, and they all have these little icons in front of them that look different. So I wanted to show you, this one looks like a clipboard. We have 2 of them. One of them is an assignment, and this one is a quiz assignment. And the big difference between the 2 of those is that the quiz assignment will be taken as a quiz grade. That's the basic difference. Then I have one that has a question mark. This is a question, and students will answer the question and they get their points for doing that. And then this one up here, a little bit different color, and it looks like a book with a bookmark. This is materials. Materials means that you don't really have an assignment that goes with it. It's just information that your teacher has put out for you. Maybe it's a link to an article. Maybe it is a link to a YouTube video to watch, or something on SchoolTube. So we're going to look at those in just a second. You might also see over here, they're divided by topics. Teachers have the option to organize these by topics. So if I had several cultural things on here and you only wanted to see the culture activities, it would drop that and open it all up, and you could just see those. It doesn't show by the end of the semester, you get quite a few of them in there, so it doesn't show all of them at once. So you can click on just culture and it will show you what's in there. You can click on just conversation and it shows you what's in there. And since I have several different options here, but not a lot of assignments. You can see all of them at once. Okay, so let's take a look at this one, first day of class. All right, so a view assignment, you can open it up to make that the whole page. So the directions are here, and it tells you what to do. First thing is to read the classroom rules and expectations. When you open it up, it will have classroom rules and expectations to be read. And then I'm asking the students to fill out a first day info form. Just information so that I can propagate it to know who are my 7th graders, who are my 8th graders, just different information about why they're there and what they're hoping to learn from the class. So they will fill these out, and whenever they fill them out, you can mark it as done. Okay. So let's say the student opened it up and filled out the form, opens up for you. I filled out the form, I'm all done, and you mark it as done. Okay. So I'm not attaching it right now, but you can attach the things on there. So if your teacher just sees it's done, so you mark it as done. Okay, and with the Google Forms, if you've used Google Forms before, you know that whenever you enter it and you submit the form, the teacher will automatically see it. So you can also put a class comment on an assignment if the teacher allows it. That's very important. It does work kind of like you would find on Facebook, where you put a comment and the teacher can respond back. If it's a class comment and the teacher has enabled that, that means everybody in the class can see it. Kids have to be careful about what they put on there, because the teacher can also mute the student and keep them from putting different comments on there. So just like real social media, kids have to be very judicious about what they put on there. If they have a question that they don't want everyone to see in the class comments, they can go to private comments and ask it just to the teacher. And then it could be just about something in the form that they don't want everybody to know about, and that would be fine. The teacher would respond back to them. So this is one activity that you can do. Let's go to the assessments. This is a quiz made on Google Forms, and the directions for it say to click on the attached Google form and take the quiz. This particular quiz is in locked mode. If you are familiar with Google Forms and locked quizzes, you know what that means. If not, what that means is that if the student tries to open up another tab to look for answers, or trying to get answers from somewhere else they're not supposed to, the quiz locks up and it doesn't let them finish it. So it's always good to know if your quiz is in locked mode, because you don't want to get kicked out of the quiz. So when you go in to take the quiz, oh, can't get this one. We're not going to take this quiz today. So you can put class comments, you can do a private comment. We're going to go ahead and mark this one as done. And this is super important to make sure that you mark it as done. Another thing I want to show you while we're on here is this Unsubmit. So you've submitted your quiz, and let's say it's a quiz or an assignment or something, and you're like, oh no, I forgot to put something on there. You can unsubmit so that you can change it. If you have an assignment that you typed on there, and you have, maybe it's a Google Doc and it's a worksheet or something, if you've typed on there and then you've marked it as done to submit to your teacher, if you try to open it up again, you will notice that it's only view only. You can't make any other edits to it, and your teacher's going to see it as is. So if you are not quite done with it, you can unsubmit it, make your changes, and then mark it as done and submit it again, which is really helpful, because sometimes we hit those buttons a little too fast and we want the chance to add something back in that maybe we forgot or skipped over something when we review it. And as long as your teacher gives you that option, then you can do that. Okay, now we're going to take a look at conversation. This is just a question, option for a question. You just have to finish it. Okay, so we're going to view the question, and they can do it in a class comment. I've had students do it there. I've had students do it in private comments, but to answer the question, best place is your answer right here. And you type in your answer. So I'm going to make up a little answer for my sample student. This is the question, quid est nomen tibi, which means what is your name? And they have to answer the above question by starting with mihi nomen est, my name is, and I'll just pick a random girl name in Latin, Flavia. And it asks just to make sure, do you want to submit this answer? Yes, I'm going to turn it in. Sometimes the teacher will make it so you can change your answer if you are not happy with the answer that you put there. You're also able to see your classmates' answers, which is pretty neat if the teacher allows that. So here we have no other classmates, but here's me, tech student, and that is my answer. If there were other students here, you can see what your classmates answered. And this is kind of a fun one because you can see what their Latin names are. So that's a fun one to use. Speaking of classmates, you can find them under people since we're talking about them. This shows who the teachers are in the class, and it shows who the people are in the class. And so you can see who is in your class, and that's really the most important thing to do when you first join a Google Classroom, to make sure you join the right class. Last thing I want to show you is the materials thing in this section. This particular item has no real assignment attached to it, just to enjoy the video. So when you view the material, you can click on whatever's here. This is a particular 3-minute or so video about the origins of the Roman Empire. And it's one that I like to show in classroom time to time, but this is one that the kids can watch on their own. So our seated students and our virtual students will be able to do the same activities. So just a few examples of things that we can use in Google Classroom. Any questions at all? Okay. As you work through Google Classroom, your particular teachers may have different ways that they put things on here. Please feel free to contact your students' teachers if you would like to ask more questions about them. Parents, wanted to tell you a couple things also about Google Classroom. Some of the biggest things that you're going to find on here are announcements, assignments, different materials that are put on here. You can find out if you have your email attached. Your teachers will send an invite to parents and guardians, and they will allow you to see a summary of things that are being done that week, and you'll know what your students are doing. Important to realize that only the students are able to get into the Google Classrooms so that they can work together in their classes. What comes for the parents is a little bit different, so that you can just see your particular students' assignments and not other students. All right. Hopefully this gives you an idea of how to get started in Google Classroom. Thanks for joining us tonight on Facebook Live. And if you would like to join Dr. Dow tomorrow on the district Facebook page at 7 o'clock, you can get help in navigating online textbooks. And this is going to be very important for especially our virtual learners, but as our kids get access to their online textbooks, students and parents may have questions about how to use them. So please join us at 7 o'clock tomorrow night on Facebook Live, DeSoto District. Thank you.